Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live. We are at the end of March. Where the heck is the year going? I'm really pumped to get to train you guys tonight on how to crush the end of the month, what to do with the follow-up, how to close the deal, why it matters. That's what we're going to dive into tonight. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Great. Why am I terrible at presenting?
Can I just say I love how your title, just crushing month's end, it just fits so well with these beautiful flowers. I think it's like balance.
Listen, my poor, sweet, beautiful assistant, she probably just like, how can I make Christina less? How can I make less? Okay, here we go. Crushing month's end, the power of follow-up and closing the deal. All right, so first of all, what I want to celebrate is the fact that we've got massive momentum happening on our team. It is super fun when momentum is here. So congratulations for those of you in momentum. I see you, I'm cheering you on. It's so huge. We've got more joins. We have people going for highest points ever. So let's celebrate that. Whatever your win is right now or what you're working on, drop that in the chat. Let people know what you are working on. We've got people ranking up. I'm seeing in my rank advancement report, they're just people everywhere, all different ranks, all different levels, and it is super duper exciting. So just want you to know we celebrate you. Way to go. Super proud of you guys. But now what, right? Now what? Here's what I want you to know. Every ounce of what you're seeing now is a result of something that a leader did or a decision that they made or a habit that they implemented. Something changed months ago, likely, that has allowed for the results that you see now. So I'm going to talk about this several times tonight, but momentum is an energy. It is not a result. Like right now, we're not in momentum suddenly. It's an energy that produces the results that you see now. And an energy is something that, first of all, a leader has to muster it up, a leader has to model it, and then a leader has to be able to impart it. Okay, so momentum is an energy. The good news is you can create it. So what you want to know, what you want to think about is what has happened in the last 90 days that has allowed my team to accomplish this? What have I changed? What have I stopped? What have I started that has allowed this? And what must I do to keep this going? Some of you right now are sitting back like, I can enjoy the rest of the month. I got that remarkable. Huh? What you mean? No, our business, it's fluid. We don't just stop and decide to let off because we achieved an incentive. The long-term goal has never been a remarkable. Right? Long-term goal is next rank, diamond for some of you, whatever your goal is. Okay. So here we go. Momentum is an energy. At some point, people that you're noticing momentum in their business, they decided to make a change. They were tired of staying at the same points. They were tired of seeing their points go backward. They were tired of building this business alone. They felt these pains, which is what I want you to know. Number one, people who are in momentum now, it's not because they've not had to deal with pain. A lot of the times, guys, if you're unmuted, please mute yourself. A lot of the times, people who are in momentum now got there because they were tired of the pain. They got there because they were tired of the undesired result, and they decided to take ownership and change it. Okay, so this is not, oh, lucky for them, they're in momentum. This is they got tired and they decided to change it. Okay, go sit right there. All right, so what changed? Something motivated them. Here, take that. Something motivated them to start creating this energy of momentum. Here is what it usually is. They decided to get out of their comfort zone. There was something, one big major thing probably that they were avoiding. And a lot of the times they decided to just start doing that, kind of like a last ditch effort. Like, okay, well, they're saying that welcome calls are what's going to take. So fine, I'll just do it. Or she's saying personal growth is what I need. So fine, I'll just do it. Like they finally get to the point that they're willing to do what they're avoiding. And they do what the most successful people are doing even if they don't feel like it. They decide that, oh, Christina said I'm supposed to have them on the phone to ask the magic question. Yet every time Christina asks me how it went with the magic question, I say, well, I kind of sort of asked it, or, well, I asked them in Messenger and they said this. They decided eventually that that wasn't working and they would just go do what I was telling them to do, regardless of how they felt about it. And so they, whatever it is, the welcome calls, cold messaging, sharing the business, following up about the business, whatever it is that people have changed, it usually is because they've just decided last ditch effort, fine, I'll do whatever they're telling me to do. And something shifted in their thoughts that has just now shown up in their results. So why is that good news for you? So that means that if you're willing to do these things, shift your thoughts, change your actions, be hungry to grow, that in the next 30, 60, 90 days, if you're not already in momentum, you could be. And if you are currently in momentum, this is what it's going to require to keep it. Okay. All right. Consistency. The people that you see having momentum this month have been doing all the things consistently. They didn't just start doing it this month. Some of you just started recruiting this month because you wanted the tablet. And listen, I'm here to tell you, if that tablet motivated you to start doing this, imagine what making $20,000 a month would do for your family. You could buy all the things you ever wanted. So whatever it was that motivated some people to start, just use that in order to cast vision even bigger, bigger, bigger. Okay. The people that you see having momentum this month with rank ups on their team, they weren't waiting for an incentive to promote activity. People, the girls that are going Ruby this month, they were already in activity. They were doing all the things so that when company incentives showed up, they were ready to capitalize on it. But you guys, here's the fun part. These girls would have hit that rank regardless, right? Because they were doing things consistently. They've been doing it all along. If we just focus on consistency, coupled with some intensity moving forward, you'll also be taking advantage of this momentum as well. Okay. Hold on, let me move you guys out of my way. All right, here we go. Oh, listen. Whatever you were able to create this month, some of you came in and you recruited a record number of people this month. You've never recruited 6 people in your life. And all of a sudden this month you did, because the remarkable was on the table. You guys, imagine if you worked with that belief long-term, like, okay, I can do this thing. I can do what I've never done before. I can do it. Imagine if you worked that way all the time. What if you really chose to see yourself as a diamond and work with that passion and conviction all the time? Whatever belief you were telling yourself about your activity this month, it'll be worth it because I'll get the remarkable. It'll be worth it because my team will see me earn this. It'll be worth it because. Just know if you were working with that same belief system all month long, every month, the remarkable would be the very least of your concerns. What if you worked with this same excitement and rigor every week of every month instead of every few months for 1 or 2 weeks a month? Imagine if you decided to just throw that mentality to the wind and just say, you know what, how I've worked this month, it's manageable and I could continue to do this. Hint, you could buy as many remarkables as you wanted if you decided to do that. What if you cared just as much about your team hitting their next rank as you do about them earning the remarkable? What if we were just as involved and just as encouraging and just as whatever with helping our people get to the next rank as we are with helping them earn this remarkable? Guys, do you believe that the next rank advancement is going to be just as powerful for their life and their family as a tablet? Yes, of course it will. Okay, so what do we do with that now? Here's how we follow up for the end of the month. Listen, I have a full 10-step follow-up system. It is in Guide 5 in the team page. I could not, for the sake of time, bring you the whole follow-up system. I couldn't do it. It's there with typed out messages, with the flow chart. All of it is there, Guide 5. Okay, if you don't know how to follow up, maybe this is your first month, you came on board because of the remarkable. We're so glad that you're here. And we have equipped you with a system that can make you very successful at sharing Plexus. So learn it. Guide 5, go check it out. Okay, but here are 2 sample messages for end of the month. You can screenshot this if you'd like. I will read them briefly. Hey, Samantha, what do you guys have planned for the end of the month? It's actually our spring break, so we're headed to the beach for a couple days. True story. This is my message. I know when we connected earlier in this month, Plexus was something that you were interested in. So wanted to pop back in since we only have a few days left in the month, and I don't want you to miss the discounts that are slipping by. So wanted to check and see if you had any questions I could answer for you, or see if you're ready to go ahead and get started. So I'm reminding her, hey, this was your idea, and I'm creating urgency like, hey, these are slipping by. Let's go. Let's do this. Hey, Samantha, I know back before when we were chatting, Plexus seemed like it was a good fit for you. So I wondered if I could ask what's keeping you from jumping in and getting started. Look at that typo. Rachel's fired. Just kidding, Rachel. It was because I changed the message. Basically, hey, Plexus seemed like a good fit. Wanted to pop in here and see if I could ask what's holding you back. Something's keeping you from closing the deal. Don't say closing the deal. Something's keeping you from pulling the trigger. Some people don't want you to say that either. Gracious. Basically find out why they ain't ordering yet. Like, is there something that's holding you back? Sometimes it's a husband's remark. Sometimes it's finances. Sometimes it's whatever. So you're just inviting that conversation. Like, hey, what's holding you back? So, okay. Now listen, you're going to send those messages today and tomorrow. Okay. Don't look at this timeline yet. I just covered it up on my screen like that. I was going to cover it up on yours. Today and tomorrow, you're going to send this message. Okay. But you're going to follow up again at the end of the month. Now, some of you are saying, oh my gosh, I can't do that. That's just 3 days apart. Listen, when you got Kohl's cash that's about to expire, Kohl's be emailing you every 6 hours. I'm not even kidding. They're like, hey, Christina, you have $80 of Kohl's cash that's going to expire in a week. Christina, don't forget 4 days left to use your $80 in Kohl's cash. It's a huge savings. Hey, Christina, 24 hours left. And then they will email you again that last hour and say, final call, Kohl's cash going out the door. I never once am annoyed because usually it's that last email that reminds me to go spend it. And they keep it so focused on me. They want to make sure I'm getting the best deal and that I don't miss out. So keep your messages to them like, hey, listen, I just wanted to remind you, like I wanted to make sure that I was providing great customer care. Few hours left for this sale. Just wanted to put it back in here. Final reminder. It's not salesy or sleazy or slimy or anything. You're just saying, hey, don't forget. I know you're busy. Life is busy. Here's what I've got for you. Let me know if you need it. Okay. So you're going to send this today and tomorrow, you guys. And then the 30th and the 31st, you're going to do the uncomfortable thing about saying, hey, listen, heads up. If you're not ready for this yet, totally fine. Let me know. And I'm going to give you some other things to say in a second, but just know once you send this out tonight, your work is not done with this person for the month. You got to follow up one more time. Okay. And just because I told you guys to go find all of the messages, I just want to show you guys this flow chart. People ask me how often, like, how do you get through 10 follow-ups? Here you go. And what I love about this timeline, you should totally print it out because it tells you at any point in this flow chart, if they're engaging with you and then stop engaging, that's okay. Go back to the day 3 timeline and continue following up from there. So it kind of lets you know, oh, this is normal. Oh, this is normal. So there's your follow-up. That's how you get them through the whole follow-up process in a year. Okay, closing the deal. Listen, stop waiting for people to ask you to take their money. Stop waiting for them to ask you. Offer to close the deal. So what can you say? How am I on time? Okay. All right, listen, here's a good closing phrase. Hey, Brittany, from all the information I sent you, what could you relate with the most? So after you shared information, hey, what could you relate with the most? What stood out to you the most? And then I'm notorious for this. I assume the close. Listen, if they hadn't said no, it's a yes. It's a yes for me. I'm like, hey, okay, great. Listen, I'm so glad you could relate with ABC. Listen, sounds like this is a great fit. Why don't I go ahead and give you a call? I'll walk you through the sign-up process. Now, Brittany at that time might say, oh, well, I mean, actually, hold on. I don't think we've talked about cost yet. Or actually, you know what? I could relate with that, but I had this question. So I just assumed the close, like, hey, I'm so glad you could relate. Why don't I shoot you a call real quick? We'll go ahead and get this taken care of. Another thing I'll say is, listen, did you have any more questions for me or were you ready to get started? Ask that and then wait. Were you ready to get started? Let's go. But guys, to me, honestly, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this feels really basic. Am I helping them at all? But then I listen and I read conversations and we wait for people to say, okay, I'm ready now. We assume when they're ready, they'll come back. It's the worst mistake you can make. Absolute worst mistake you can make. When they're ready, they'll come back. No way. Listen, when they're ready, you need to be there. You need to have been following up and been saying, hey, listen, I'm here to serve you. Let me ask you this. Do you see this as a good fit for you? You ready to get started? If yes, great. Let's jump on the phone. Let's get you all set up. If not, okay, well, cool. What information do you think you would need to be able to make that decision? And I'm looking here at, well, I need to wait for payday, or I need to wait for, I need to ask my doctor, whatever they're going to say. And then it gives you a chance to say, okay, well, listen, I understand what you're saying. Like, it is an investment in money. Like, I get that. It's an investment. But what if Plexus could help you with all of those things that you mentioned before? Like, wouldn't that be a wise investment? So you get them to kind of turn their thinking from a sacrifice to an investment, so forth and so on. But a lot of the times you just have to be willing to solicit the conversation. Got to be willing to draw people out and not afraid of what they're going to say. The whole time you're completely unemotionally attached. You're just attempting to provide great customer service, and great customer service reps follow up. They follow up. Okay. So then I handle whatever they were saying about their money or their husband or their doctor. I said, great. Well, so you feel better now about getting started? If yes, great. Let's get to my website. Let me help you out. If not, okay, well, listen, I definitely want to be respectful of timing, because I'm completely confident that when you're ready to make this a priority, our products are going to help you a ton. Since you're not quite ready, why don't I drop you a free sample in the mail? Love for you to experience the ease of fitting it all in and our delicious flavor. And then the key right here is schedule a time to chat again. The reason I go for a sample at this point is because I've gone through the follow-up process. I've attempted to handle their objections. I've attempted to close the deal multiple times. And at this point, I want them to know I'm in it for them. So I'm going to offer a single stick. And listen, I only probably send 10 a year. I mean, I very, very rarely need samples. But if I do get to this point, I take one of my sticks, put it in an envelope, write a cute little note, send it in the mail. Because for me, that is how I feel confident knowing I offered great service. Like, I did everything I could to get them to understand I believe wholeheartedly in what I have and what I'm willing to offer. Plus, it gives me a reason to follow back up in a couple days. Hey, did you try your pink drink? What did you think? Here's what I need you guys to take to the bank. Successful people do consistently what other people do occasionally. Be the person starting today. It's real fun to start new habits and momentum, right? It's real fun. Start them now. Decide to just be consistent at all the things. Some of you just have to pick one thing. You're doing everything else consistently. You just got to pick the other thing, the one thing. You know the thing. You know what you're avoiding. Some of you need to pick the thing and decide right now to stop avoiding it. That one thing, if you will stop avoiding it, will catapult your business further and faster than anything else that I could tell you to do. Stop avoiding it. And then I want you to look at this. What you see on the right is a ballerina, and it's beautiful and it's polished and she's strong and all that. What you see on the left is the work. It's the work. So sometimes when you have a team in momentum, you're like, oh my gosh, I just want so much for what they have. Listen, here's what I want you to know. Don't pine for someone else's results. Instead, study their efforts and emulate their willingness to learn. Don't wish for what they have, but be willing to work like they have been willing to work. Just decide to do what the people that you're admiring are doing for as long as they're willing to do it, for as many times as they fell forward, over and over and over again. Because just because they look like the perfectly polished ballerina doesn't mean they don't have this to show for it. But what they're telling you every time they put that ballerina shoe on is it's been worth it. So the thing that you're avoiding, if you will just decide that it is worth it, it is the one thing that's going to allow you to go and achieve what you're asking to achieve. So I'm just here to tell you guys, listen, when you're willing to follow up, end of the month or otherwise, it builds your credibility in the belief of what you're offering. If you're only willing to offer it once or twice, that person is going to sit back over there and think, well, she must, I hadn't heard from her in 2 months. Like, she must really, guess it's not that big of a deal. It builds your credibility. I've had so many times, Brittany has said the same thing. So many times people have said, thank you so much for being persistent, but not pushy. You know how you be not pushy? You be them focused. You be them focused. You don't wait until you're so desperate for a rank up or a tablet that you got to go beg and plead and prod. You be them focused all along. You're persistent because you're offering them something valuable. And your confidence allows you to have that posture of belief and that posture of passion and the willingness to follow up. So how do you end the month strong? Number one, if you've already earned the tablet, congratulations. Don't let up. Don't let yourself off the hook for the next 3 days. You're not going to find a leader in this company who's going to sit back and take the 3 days of the month off because they've achieved their own personal goal. It ain't going to happen. If that were allowed, listen, and this is probably going to sting somebody. If you have the right after earning your tablet to take the rest of the month off, what am I doing still working? Because I achieved Diamond 2 years ago. And so far in the last week, I've worked the same day of a surgery. I've worked on my kids' spring break. I mean, I'm working. I'm working because leaders serve, and there are so many of you who have goals and dreams. Some of you don't even know the dreams that you have yet, but I'm going to awaken them because that's my job. It's what I get to do. It's why I'm on this earth. So don't sit back and sell yourself short the last 3 days of the month because you think you've arrived because you hit your incentive. What about next month? What if you could be even closer to your goal next month based off of your activity now? Don't, just because you hit, like, y'all listen, you gonna let your kid after they graduate high school just kick back and take a couple of years off because they hit their goal? Heck no. I hope you ain't. If you are, I got a parenting book. But no, you're going to expect them to continue to fulfill their potential. Fulfill your potential. Don't let up. So end of the month, follow up, follow up, follow up. Help your people win. If they're not hitting their goals, why? Ask good questions. If you don't know why they're not hitting their goals, ask your leader good questions. Like, hey, I've analyzed, like, I don't understand why she's not hitting her goals. What could it be? Follow up, help your people hit their goals. The quickest way you win is by helping people win. So win and know that everything that you leave on the field in March, it will pay in fruition in April, in May, in June, and July. So that's my advice. Guys, kill it. You have been blessed with an opportunity of company momentum, incentive, discounts, all the fun things. I'm telling you, don't wake up on April 1st knowing you could have done more. Just leave it all on the field. Let's just do what we can do. Leave it all on the field. And I'm telling you, you will be in a better position come April 1 with what we're about to launch in April. Listen, you want to be set up for that. So I'm so proud of what you guys have accomplished in March. I mean, so many times this month I've called Brittany like, I'm so grateful we get to do this. I'm so grateful we get to do this. And y'all, listen, we stay grateful on the mountaintop and in the valley and everywhere in between. But I'm just telling you, don't let up. Just know you can have everything here that you want to have, but it's going to start with a decision. It's going to start with a work ethic. Be somebody, be the leader on your team that they say, man, that girl, she loves what she does and she loves to do it. And do it. Leave it all on the field. Okay. That's for all I have. Stop.